Welcome, Taurus, to the month of September 2017. Now, this is going to be a bit different because I have a bit of a health concern, as I've been told that I have arthritis in my right knee, and it hurts to sit for too long of a period of time. And as it stands, my knee right now is kind of swollen, but not too bad, but it's stinging really bad. So I have to really stay off of it. And it, like I said, it just hurts too much to sit for too long. So I'm going to keep this short and concise. And what I'm about to share with you is information from the book by Alan Oken called Soul-Centered Astrology, A Key to Your Expanding Self. And I'm going to get right to it. And here we go. Taurus, you are the penetrating light of the path. This is a beam of light streaming forth from the point in Aries and revealing the area of light control. You are on the fourth ray of manifestation. Your personality-centered rulers are Venus and the fifth ray, or a star there, and soul-centered rulers are Vulcan and the first ray, or like a sun symbol. Anyway, the work for the spiritually oriented person whose sun, or especially whose rising sign, is Taurus has to do with the principles of illumination. The task is to irradiate the physical world and uplift the physical plane. This is accomplished through the penetrating light of the divine will. The testing ground has to do with not becoming trapped by the very same physical plane which Taurus seeks to enlighten. This is no easy task by any means. The ancient wisdom teachings tell us that Taurus is the sign which embodies the major incentive of life. This is due to the fact that Taurus is the embodiment of desire in all its forms. Not just the desire for physical goods and pleasures. The latter is desire in the life of the personality-centered individual. It is in this realm of expression that the traditional keyword phrase for Taurus is I have, therefore I am, predominates in this existence. But in the life of one attempting to walk the path of light, this desire is transmuted into the spiritual aspiration which surfaces in the urge to liberate oneself and others from the attachment to matter. The person who has achieved and integrated this aspiration finds that his planetary task and the nature of his contribution to humanity is based on his ability to be determined and steadfast in the application of will and power in furthering the evolutionary plan for mankind. Taurus is especially connected to Buddha, for just as the Passion of the Christ takes place through Pisces, the Buddha is said to have been born, reached enlightenment, and died in the sign of the bull. Isn't that cool? These events are celebrated each year at the Wesak festival, the time of the full moon, when the sun is in Taurus. The Buddha taught that the path of detachment from desire is the vehicle for the entrance of light, that is, the creative will. The energies of the first ray, he did this through those methods which imparted the means to awaken the third eye, or the eye of the bull. This awakening brings into one's daily life a consciousness in which the expression of the soul is centered in the intuitive or Buddhic plane. Such an awakening brings forth the potential for the fullest expression of our humanness. In this respect, the dual horns of the bull become the single horn of the one-pointed spiritualized being, as symbolized by the unicorn. How unusual. So Taurus is only found on the fourth ray in the Buddhic is the fourth plane, as the Buddhic is the fourth plane, and the human is the fourth kingdom. The fourth chakra through which the second ray emanates is the heart. This is the very center of human expression, while the externalization of the use of intuition comes through the third eye point, or the brow center. The latter is related to Venus and the Esoteric ruler of Taurus. As the heart is the Christ center and the brow the Buddhic one, there is a very special relationship here. The heart is love and the brow is wisdom. When the two centers merge, as they eventually do on the evolutionary path of the spiritually awakening soul, the ray of love and wisdom unfolds completely. It is always important to recognize the law of correspondence at work. As we open our hearts and higher minds, we externalize those aspects of ourself which correspond to the Christ and the Buddha. This opening is at the core of all of our efforts at self-realization. This is the realization of the self. The work is to free ourselves from possessiveness and materiality, so that through these lessons, true wisdom may emerge, and is very definitely at the center of the Taurian phase of the turning of the wheel. Taurus is the sign of our earthly life, and as such, it embodies a great conflict, one which can be seen in the ray which operates through it. The fourth ray of harmony through conflict is the most human of the rays. It is very much the factor behind the art of living, and presents those tests, trials, and victories which give rise to the spiritualization of humanity. It is this ray of art and beauty which so attracts these sons and daughters of Venus. It is the fifth ray of the lower mind, ruled by Venus, that stimulates the Taurian toward the acquisition of more gold in all of its forms. And on the soul level, the ruling planet of this sign is Vulcan, which is primarily a planet of first-rate energy. Thus, it is that on the soul level, a life in Taurus is chosen to teach an individual how to transmute material desire into spiritual will. With Vulcan, we enter upon one of the most esoteric aspects of soul-centered astrology. And with that, I'm going to get back to you, Taurus. For part 2, we'll be covering each phase of each personality, soul, and the spiritual cross stations, or segments, if you will, so that you'll be able to understand even greater, much more in depth, how it relates to you with just a single word. I'll be back.